and starting on Zoom.
Well, good evening and thanks for being here. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to introduce you guys to 17 colleges that have a special program called WUE. And you see all our faces right now. You're going to hear from each one of us in just a few minutes. We had over 1,000, almost 2,000 RSVPs tonight. So hopefully we've got capacity and everybody that's joined or RSVP'd is going to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with everybody. And we'll hear from each one of the panelists in just a few minutes. So again, thanks for joining us for the WUE webinar tonight. WUE Wednesday, woohoo! All right. You guys good? Can see the screen? All right. And as I say right here, we will get started in just a couple of moments. We're letting the audience capacity grow. We're near time to start. I know you guys have a lot of questions and we're going to try and address those questions. And one of the first questions is, how do you pronounce W-U-E? And so I put that on there and I always say WUE. And so that's how it's pronounced, folks. And so we're going to talk about higher ed, lower cost. My name's Gary B. And we'll start right now. And again, there should have been a poll and you guys take that poll. And did you launch the poll there, Vanessa? So let's take just a minute as you think about what does WUE mean so far. Good, good. I'm getting the answers that I'm looking for. Great. I like it. Well, this is a pretty good audience. 16 people have the right answers so far. 20 now. No, it actually is answer. I think we're almost there. That's right. WUE stands for Western Undergraduate Exchange, but we're going to talk about not my wild undergraduate experience, but it also, the WUE does help underwrite the cost of education. So as we're finishing up the poll, let's talk about WUE and how it works and what it is. And many of you are stressing about the process of applying to college and getting admitted to college. Well, tonight we're going to help go from stress to success. Do two things: ask questions, follow directions. Sounds so easy, right? This is one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever got and always given. Ask questions, follow directions. Every college has an admissions office. So all the folks that you get to meet tonight are admission counselors. So as you start to meet the admission counselors tonight, we're the ones that can tell you how WUE works at our institution. It's like saying, how much is tuition to go to college? Well, each college will tell you what their tuition is. So we're going to talk about how WUE works at each one of our schools. Admission counselors can be on campus or regional. Many of us tonight are regional. We're your admission counselor. We're the ones who represent the West. And one of the ways you connect with admission counselors is you can go to regionaladmissions.com. For many of us, we're part of a group called RAC. Seniors, juniors, sophomores, and even parents, we know your students are going to graduate. It's not a matter of if or when, it's where they're going to go to college. So we're going to work on that tonight. We're going to give you 17 great options. I'm a regional, I'm based in California. Even though I work for the University of New Mexico, I don't work at. And living in California, I love it. And so people have a vision. Babes, Babe, Beverly Hills Beaches, Boys, Beyonce, Bieber, everything starts with a B in California because California is beautiful. And I know not all of you live in California, but all of you know our beautiful traffic. this is the 405 freeway. And I figured out why it's called the 405, because when I was able to drive before the pandemic, I was usually going 4 or 5 miles an hour for 4 or 5 hours with 405 of my best friends. Higher ed in California, there's options. Every state has public 4-year and public 2-year colleges and private schools. But many of you today want to know, what are the options beyond your home state? Out of state could be great, don't wait. But you hear out of state and you start thinking, going to cost a lot. Well, maybe, maybe not. Private schools don't charge an out-of-state tuition, and every college tonight is a public state school. So, and we'll talk about how WUE works at our institution. I always say, ask questions, follow directions. Well, one of the greatest questions is to ask, what's the COA? How much am I going to pay? Everybody always says, well, what's the tuition? Well, that's not the total cost. You've got housing and dining, books and supplies, transportation, and my 2 best friends in life, JJ and SB, Jamba Juice, Starbucks, pizza, popcorn. Parents, you already know that. And students, guess what? That doesn't go away when you go to college. So let's look at the COA. Generally speaking, if you stay in your home state, you're somewhere in that 20,000 or more, depends on what state. UCs are running somewhere in the neighborhood of 35,000 per year, all in, tuition, housing, books, the whole enchilada. Sorry, I'm from New Mexico. In private schools, they run about 50,000, and a non-resident pays almost twice as much. But with WUE, we can actually help bring those costs down. You see those numbers, and I know you're starting to think, OMG, oh my Gary B, that's crazy. That's a ton of dough. I don't know if I can go. Let's talk about WUE and that kind of money that can help bring down that cost of education. Because WUE is a great way to help pay for college. And you want to know about the 17 colleges tonight. You're going to hear from us, but there are 160 different 2-year and 4-year institutions that offer the WUE tuition rate. You can go to this website. So one of my pro tips tonight is anything that's highlighted in yellow, pretty important, and you might want to remember that. The website, witchy.edu/WUE, and that'll get you a little bit more information, but always check with the admission counselors. WUE is tuition reduction. It's the good neighbor policy. You can go out of state to a neighboring state and pay reduced tuition. What's it take to get reduced tuition? Ask the admission counselor at each institution. Public schools in the West. Now, there's some caveats, and we'll get into those. So, everybody that goes to a public school in the West, you're a resident paying resident tuition. You might, if you go out of state, pay non-resident tuition. Remember, private schools, no in-state, out-of-state, resident, non-resident, but there are 160 colleges and universities that have the WUE tuition. All right, and so tonight we're going to explain how that works at our institutions and how you get the dough to help you go. Entiendo? So if you're a resident, your public college might cost about $6,000 per year for tuition. A non-resident, maybe in the neighborhood of 23. Well, WUE tuition, a special tuition rate, good neighbor, your tuition would be up to 150%. So it could be $9,000 or perhaps even less. Then you can still get FAFSA and other merit aid to help, okay? You're a resident of your home state. When you leave to go out of state and you're on the WUE, you're still a resident of your home state. You're not establishing residency. Look at the number of colleges in the West compared to the East. From the Mississippi over, oh my. But in the West, we decided, hey, let's partner for both academic and students. And here's the 15 states that are part of the WUE coalition. So it's public schools, Western states, and you're going to meet 17 colleges tonight from 10 different states. That's phenomenal that we're able to do this in just 1 hour. Again, I live in California. There are 500,000 high school seniors in California. We are an exporter. There's not enough room at the California schools, both public and private, to accommodate every student. And California students, quite honestly, like a little diversity. I know a student once told me from San Diego, he's looking for 4 seasons. He wanted to escape the perfect weather, right? So 160 different schools. Not everybody's a 4-year, but everybody tonight is a 4-year public college. Not every public school in a WUE state offers the program. You've got to check. University of Oregon doesn't have the program. University of Colorado in Boulder doesn't have the program. And I'm not picking on them. I'm just telling you, those are popular schools that you probably are hoping to get WUE. Well, each college and university sets their own qualifications. You're going, what? You've got to get admitted. Remember, ask questions, follow directions. Meet the qualifications. Every school will tell you. Sometimes once you're admitted, you get WUE automatically. Other schools, you have to get qualifications. None of the schools tonight have a separate application. When you're applying for admission, you're applying for WUE for automatic consideration. So far, we've learned there's 87 4-year schools that have WUE, and time to take a test. Every college sets their own requirements, true or false. My gosh, I hope you've learned that every college sets their own requirements, true. Websites are always 100% accurate. Folks, if that was true, we wouldn't be doing this. You could just jump on the website, especially during a pandemic. Things changed, pivoted so quickly. Admission counselors know, yes, we do. We're the front line. We're here to help get you the answer. So start connecting with admission counselors. Many colleges have a GPA requirement. Not everybody does. None of the colleges tonight are requiring an ACT or an SAT to qualify for WUE. If you've taken the ACT or SAT, it may help you. It won't hurt you. All right. So there's an academic qualification, at least to get admitted. And some schools limit the number of offers. I tell every student, apply early and guarantee yourself that you don't commit until May, right? Do I need the FAFSA? Not necessarily. The FAFSA is need-based aid that will reduce other costs, right? Could reduce the rest of that tuition, could reduce some housing costs. FAFSA is a wonderful option to get need-based aid, okay? Some colleges limit the programs. You've got to ask each college, is it every program available? All right, what's the requirements to get into that program? Typically, WUE's for 4 years if you're an incoming freshman, and many colleges do have WUE for transfer students. So, participating schools. Each college and university sets their own qualifications to get WUE. That's your number one takeaway tonight. And not every school has the same qualifications. So I'm going to let that sink in. We're going to introduce our schools. We're going to start further north, and we'll work our way south and then go east, west, east. So we're going to cover 10 states really quickly. Let's start with Alaska. And Tiffany, if you're ready, why don't you tell the folks about the University of Alaska, Anchorage.
Thanks, Gary. Happy to kick us off this evening. My name is Tiffany Vigiano, and I'm your regional representative from the University of Alaska, Anchorage. At UAA, we value our access to adventure and our central location. We're at the gateway to the beautiful nature that Alaska is known for. Hundreds of miles of trail, some of the best snowboarding, more national park than any other state. And you can even take a weekend trip to see the glaciers or the northern lights. But as the largest city in Alaska, we also offer urban comforts that you've come to enjoy. A downtown, shopping, movies, concerts, and more. The state's major airport is in town, so you're just a short flight away from home. It's actually faster to fly to Anchorage than to drive across California. On campus, you'll be a part of a thriving community of 13,000 students with over 100 clubs and 23 athletic teams, sporting equipment rentals, and a new esports lounge. You'll find plenty of ways to live your amazing story. And as a major public comprehensive university, we offer over 100 degree options. This wide breadth of program choices enables you to follow your academic passions. Exploratory studies is actually one of our most popular freshman majors. We have distinct colleges, so well-developed infrastructure for student support, For the arts and sciences, health, engineering, business, and even career and technical education. We value hands-on learning that takes you outside of the classroom. For example, one of our geology courses actually helicopters students to the site location. You can also take some pretty interesting elective courses in things like ice climbing or dog sledding. Ranked #1 for long-term return on investment. UAA balances affordability and quality. We have an excellent 1:16 faculty-student ratio, which means that about half of our courses have less than 20 students. We maintain affordability by offering WUE tuition in the $10,000 range. This means it can be less expensive for you to attend UAA than to pay in-state tuition at your state's public university system. We're an open access university, so we extend that mission to WUE, which means that there are no additional requirements for WUE at UAA. It's not competitive, it's not a scholarship, it's a true tuition discount program with no GPA or program restrictions. And as an open access university, we are pretty easy to apply to. Our application does not have an essay requirement, and we're test blind. In fact, the entire application only takes about 15 minutes to complete. I'll link some more information for you in the chat, and I look forward to helping y'all become future Seawolves.
Hey y'all, my name is Andrew. I'm an admissions counselor for University of Alaska Fairbanks. I am also based in California, and I'm a UAF alum. I'm originally from Ohio, so believe me, I know how scary it can be going out of state for college, especially to Alaska. So University of Alaska Fairbanks is located in Alaska's interior. So as you can see here, Fairbanks is up in the middle of the state. It means you're going to be experiencing a pretty authentic and sometimes romantic college experience up in, true Alaska. You'll be experiencing temperature lows of -30, even -40, and temperature highs of 70s and 80s in the summer with the midnight sun. You'll also be able to see the aurora borealis right from campus and even see moose right on campus. I've done both of those things. Can recommend all of them. At UAF, I like to tell students that we offer all the best parts of college in the farthest North US city. So, you're going to live in a residence hall, you're going to have your cafe, student rec center, everything on campus that you need, in addition to a really tightly knit community of down-to-earth, adventurous folks who are passionate about their studies, passionate about their research. As you can see here, our student tradition is snapping a photo in front of our temperature sign when the temperature hits -40 degrees, and there is a time-lapse photo of the sun on the winter solstice in December. You'll just have a crisp 3 or 4 hours of sunlight, and it's one of the things that brings everybody in Fairbanks and on our campus together. And we also have a downtown area. The Chena River runs through campus, and we have, like I said, lots to offer at UAF. Just some quick highlights about our school. So we are a land, sea, and space grant university, as well as a world leader in climate change and Arctic research. So we're going to have a ton of funding, a ton of resources and opportunities and they're not going to be too competitive. So with a student body of just over 5,400 on campus and a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio, you're going to have so many opportunities and a lot of one-on-one FaceTime with your professors and your classmates, and you're really going to get to know our campus and the folks on it. We do offer WUE for all. We also offer in-state tuition for military and veterans and their families. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we have some amazing Thai food up in Fairbanks. I don't think I mentioned this, but Fairbanks is about 90,000 people. So we really are a really tightly knit community, both on campus and off campus. So as I said, we do offer WUE for all. That number for all costs, we're talking tuition, fees, housing, meal plan, is just under $24,000 a year. And all you have to do is check off on your application that you're interested in WUE, and you will receive WUE if you're coming from California. All right, and our applications are open right now for fall 2021. We are not requiring test scores. Send them to us if you want to. If they help you, we'll look at them. If not, we don't need them. But yeah, apply to UAF. Thanks.
Perfect. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Alaska. Now we're going to go to Oregon. We'll hear from 2 universities in Oregon. We're going to hear from Kelly with Oregon State.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Kelly Pieski and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for Non-Resident Recruitment at Oregon State, and I am regionally based in Northern California. So if you are tuning in and joining us from the Northern California region, then I'm also your Regional Admissions Advisor. At Oregon State, we are located in Corvallis, Oregon. For those of you unfamiliar with Corvallis, we're right in the Willamette Valley. We're about 90 miles south of Portland, about 30 minutes away from the coast and about an hour away from the Cascade Mountains. The name Corvallis literally means heart of the valley, translated from Latin. So we are truly in the middle of everything. It's a great location. If you are interested in anything to do with the outdoors, hiking, biking, mountain biking, surfing, skiing, snowboarding, it can all be done in and around Corvallis. Corvallis is consistently ranked as being one of the top college towns in the nation, as well as being the safest, smartest, and greenest, one of the safest, smartest, and greenest small cities as well. So it's truly just a great place to live and learn for those 4 years that you're in college. There's a little under 25,000 undergraduate students on the Corvallis campus. We have over 400 student clubs and organizations. We have 7 different cultural resource centers, 16 different Division I Pac-12 athletics. Students get those home game tickets for free. So it's just a really phenomenal place, again, to be for those 4 years that you're in college. And I have my little future beaver joining us right here, so sorry for that interruption. But we have over 200 academic programs and over in 9 different undergraduate colleges. If you're interested in anything to do with the STEM fields, we are very well known for programs in STEM, including engineering, agricultural sciences, earth and ocean sciences, the #1 forestry program in the nation, oceanography. So a ton of programs. If you don't know what you want to major in, that's also okay. You can always come in as undecided and work with your academic advisor for those first year and a half or so to kind of hone in and figure out what it is that you want to major in. We also have vet med and pharmacy programs as well at the graduate level. So if you're interested in doing those at the undergraduate level, great programs as well. And none of those programs are impacted, I'll just mention. Okay, and we're also a top research institution. So we're one of only 2 institutions in the entire nation to be land, sun, sea, and space grant institutions. So if you're interested in having that hands-on experience, great programs there. We are, for the first time in a long time, we're again part of the WUE program, our WUE system. Both admissions and scholarships considerations are done on a holistic level. So what you would do is submit your application. As long as you're getting your application for admissions into us by February 1st, you'll automatically be considered for WUE. WUE is the top, I'm so sorry for this, folks. WUE is the top award for non-resident students. It is a competitive award. So not every student's going to get it. If you don't receive WUE, we do have additional awards as well. I think my time is up for both my 4-year-old as well as my 3 minutes. I will drop my contact information into the chat. So if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. With that, go Beavs.
Thanks, Kelly. And I like the future beaver there. That's great. Let's hear from Portland State University next.
Great, thank you, Gary. So good evening, everyone. My name is Dave Kobzina, and I am the Assistant Director for Transfer Recruitment at Portland State University. I am based on campus, but I do work with students in both Northern California and Utah. Portland State, we are a fairly large institution with about 26,000 students altogether, 21,000 undergraduates. We are the state's most diverse 4-year institution. We are also the state's only urban institution. We are right in the heart of downtown, so if you're looking for a city environment, but with a lot of the traditional college feel, we are going to be a perfect fit for you. We have 10 residence halls, more than 200 different clubs, and we have 15 Division I NCAA sports. Academically, we have about 200 programs that you can choose from. Gary, if you can move to the next slide, please. So the programs are housed under these different schools and colleges. We do not require that you declare a major coming in. That is only mandated by the end of your sophomore year. Some of our bigger majors are going to be in business and engineering, along with psychology, graphic design, as well as the health sciences. If I didn't say this already, we do not have any impacted programs, so your ability to graduate within 4 years is very doable. And we also have the only urban-focused honors college in the United States. From an admissions standpoint, pretty straightforward for first-year students. 3.0 cumulative unweighted GPA, and then we have all of our subject requirements that you can see here, which need to be met with a C- or better. We are a test optional institution. We have been for many years, so nothing has really changed because of COVID. You're welcome to submit them, but of course they are, like I said, not going to be required. Now, if we have any transfer students in here this evening, about 60% of our undergraduates are transfers, so I think this is important to mention. You'll see the requirements there. You only need 20 semester or 30 quarter credits to be considered a transfer, have a 2.25 GPA, and complete what we call Writing 121 with a C- or better. Think of it as English composition. If you meet those requirements, you are going to get into the university. We are on a rolling admissions basis, which means there's no technically no formal admission deadlines, but there are going to be some as it relates to WUE. So cost of attendance, you can see that we break it down into two different categories. We have traditional out-of-state tuition, and then with WUE, which is about $14,300 per year, and then your total estimated cost of attendance when you factor everything into the equation. Now, how do you get WUE? You need to have one of three things as a first-year student. Next slide, please. So as a first year, you need to have either a 3.0 cumulative unweighted GPA, 1270 SAT, or a 27 composite on the ACT. Transfer students, you must have a 3.0 transfer GPA. You must begin in the fall. You have to apply for admission by June 15th and submit your final transcripts to us by August 1st. There are no major requirements to this. Everybody gets it if they meet the eligibility. You also see the out-of-state opportunity scholarship, and that's if you don't meet WUE requirements. And if you have questions that I can help with after today, my contact information is coming up on the next slide right here, and I'll put everything into the chat as well. So thank you very much.
Perfect, Dave. Thank you, Oregon. We're going to move a little bit further to the east over to Idaho and hear from Eva.
Yes, thanks, Gary. Hi, everybody. My name is Eva Hester, and I work at the University of Idaho. We are located in Moscow, which is in the northern part of the state, right over the Washington border. We're the state of Idaho's land-grant institution, and so we have a lot of majors for our students to do that revolve around research, but our majors are all the way across the board. We have the common ones that are going to fall within business, education, engineering, and more unique majors that are going to fall within the College of Natural Resources and the College of Agriculture. We are just rated as the #1 school in the West for best value, so that's an exciting accomplishment that we have this year. You really do get a wonderful valued education at the University of Idaho. If you can go to the next slide, please, Gary. So we are D1 when it comes to sports, but we only have about 8,000 undergraduate students. So you're going to get that personalized attention from professors, but still that big fun sports school. The Kibbe Dome where our football team plays is on campus, so just short walking distance from the dorms. Our freshmen are required to live on campus freshman year. And so you really get that experience of getting to meet friends and staying on campus on the weekends. Greek Row is on campus, so that is the other living option for our first year students. We have over 200 clubs and organizations. They revolve all the way around from sports like intramurals and club sports, religious clubs, music, theater, community service, whatever it might be, whatever your interest is, there's going to be a club for you to join and have fun in. Like I mentioned earlier, that one-on-one student to teacher, it's 14-1, but you'll get that one-on-one attention in class. 66% of our undergraduates do participate in research. And so outside of the classroom, you're going to get a lot of hands-on opportunities, whether that's on our farms on campus or in a lab, whatever your major is, you're going to have that opportunity. We are 6 miles from the closest airport, so you get to come home. You're not stuck in Idaho for forever. Can you go back to that slide, please, Gary? And we also, too, are very interdisciplinary. So if you're an engineering student, you're not just going to be working with engineering students all 4 years. You'll also go on and do projects with marketing students, for example, or our computer science students and our digital design students get to work closely together. So that is a fun vibe of campus. Next slide, please. So the big reason why a lot of you are here tonight is WUE. So we are a WUE institution. All accepted students from a WICHE state will receive WUE. So wherever you're coming from, if it is a WICHE state, you will get that middle cost highlighted in gold. We are test optional this year. And if you scan that QR code on the left, that'll give you more curated information that'll be more related to what your major is. And then the last slide is just a beautiful photo of campus in the Palouse of Northern Idaho, our university golf course on the bottom right, and campus is that entire center of the photo. I'll put my contact information in the chat, but thank you so much and go Vandals. Next up, I believe it's Adrian with Wyoming.
Awesome. Thanks, Eva. Hi, everybody. My name is Adrienne Loveland from the University of Wyoming, and we are located in the southeast corner of the state in probably about 2.5 hours from Denver, about 45 minutes from Fort Collins. So we're in a fantastic place. Laramie is a smaller, more rural location. We have about 30,000 residents with the campus over 12,000 students. Our students range from all 50 states and over 9 different countries. We are 50% in-state and 50% out-of-state. So we are a actually very diverse campus. Fun fact about the University of Wyoming, we are actually the only four-year institution in the state. So we are heavily supported by the state and not focused totally on out-of-state tuition dollars. We offer over 200 different areas of study. That's everything from accounting to zoology, but then we have some really unique ones, such as an outdoor tourism management degree, and environmental and natural resources studies. We are known for our nursing program, which is direct entry, our education program, as well as business. And of course, I would be remiss not to mention our engineering program at UW, as well as veterinary sciences. So we have quite a range. We do have about a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so you are going to get to know your professors. And you're not only going to get a fantastic education at Wyoming, you're extremely marketable. Industry is looking for our students. So we get students in all sorts of different career paths, and 92% of our students had jobs or were in grad school 6 months within graduation. We are one of the lucky schools that has the nation's largest study abroad endowment ever given to a public institution. Next slide, Gary. We are also in between two mountain ranges, so there is a plethora of outdoor activities. If you like four seasons, we have them, and we have the mountains right outside your residence halls. We also, for admission, are test optional for this coming year of fall 2021. We are a moderately selective institution, and we are offering some in-person visits. In regards to WUE, we offer WUE as well as a Brown and Gold scholarship, and that's on the next slide. Here it is. And you can see we'll do it off of your GPA and test scores. We also have a test optional piece. Whatever is going to benefit you the most as a student is what we're going to give you. Do know that if you apply and then you retake your test, or at semester your grades go up, we will adjust this graph and your scholarships again to whatever is going to benefit you the most. So the next slide has my contact information. I'm here and happy to help and tell you more about the University of Wyoming, but thanks again for being here, and go Pokes.
Well, that's some great information. Thank you so much. We're going to move over to Utah and hear from Eric.
All right, hi guys, my name is Eric Bensing, and I'm a regional rep for Southern Utah University, and I'm based in Los Angeles, California. So Southern Utah University, we are located in a very small rural city called Cedar City. It's about 2.5 hours north of Las Vegas. Now we are small, we're about 30,000 residents, but we have one of the best backyards in the nation with Zion, Bryce, Arches, and our own ski resort, Bryan Head, just 45 minutes up north. There's always something to do. Another thing that we're really known for is our Tony Award winning Shakespeare Festival. That is a professional production that we at SUU put on for all of our students. Next slide. All right, some quick facts. So I know my slide says 11,000 students. That was as of September, but now with new numbers being reported, we are now at 12,500 students. We had one of the top enrollments for fall to fall with a 12.1% increase, while a lot of other schools were low or just barely making it. Now we are growing. We are one of the fastest growing universities, but we're still maintaining that 19-to-1 student ratio, an average class size of 21, and a retention rate of 74%. Some of our notable programs will be nursing, which is impacted, aviation, which is impacted if you're in the flight program, but we also offer the only aircraft maintenance program in the entire world. Other big ones for us is School of Business, Performing and Visual Arts, and the School of Education. We are NCAA D1, so we do offer a great amount of athletics as well as clubs on campus. Next slide. Now, when it comes to our scholarships, so WUE is just one of the ones that an unweighted GPA can get you. So all we look for is an unweighted GPA, and that'll determine which scholarship. Every student with a 2.5 unweighted GPA is automatically accepted into SUU, and then at 2.8 unweighted GPA is when the scholarships start rolling in. So if you have a 3.2 to a 3.69, you're automatically going to get that WUE. If you want to submit a test score to be in a higher range to get a better scholarship, you can definitely do that. With that being said, our campus is open and we look forward to seeing you guys visit us. And next, let's give it up to the University of Utah with Brandon.
Thanks, Eric. Brandon, tell us about the University of Utah.
Hey, I'd love to, Gary. Thanks, everyone. My name is Brandon. I'm a regional admission counselor for the U based here in Southern California, about 35 miles east of Los Angeles in Claremont, California. I do have a colleague, Jasmine Bryant, up in Northern California. So if you do need any of our contacts, I will post that in the chat. We'll go to the next slide, GB. Yep. Actually, go back one more, Gary. I'm sorry. My fault, Gary. There we go. So we are located in Salt Lake City, Utah, the capital of the state. So our front yard view is downtown, about 2 miles, east of this picture you see right there. Our lovely campus is shown right there, right at the base of the Wasatch Mountain Range. So we're about an hour away from 11 world-class ski resorts. A nice little tidbit was that our campus was home to the Olympic Village back when Salt Lake City hosted the Winter Olympics in 2002. So all of our residential halls were basically opened by all of the different winter athletes, which is great. And it shows, again, a really awesome sort of balance between the outdoors and the downtown scene. And all public transportation is free for students across the board. We have 150 majors to choose from. None of our majors are impacted. The nice thing about the U is that we are an undergraduate friendly and heavy institution. So 3 out of 4 of our students are undergraduates. So that 32,000 total enrollment is about 24,000 and change undergraduates. We have an average class size of 23 students. We are the flagship public university in the state, which means we are the only Research One university in the state. And we just joined the AAU, which is the most prestigious group of higher education institutions in the country, known for their research prowess. We just surpassed the $600 million mark in research. Popular majors tend to be in engineering, nursing, pre-health sort of fields, business, and I would say social sciences, political science, psychology, and the likes. Really big entrepreneurial flair at the U. This is actually one of our residential halls, Lassonde Studios, where it's a 20,000 square foot makerspace, woodworking shop, metalworking shop, 3D printers, prototyping room. So lots of kind of student ingenuity and entrepreneurship is encouraged and supported throughout the 4-year career, regardless if you're a business major or not. And we go to the next one, Gary. And just really quickly, we are a test optional institution, not just this year, but next year as well. And basically with WUE, it's this. Once you apply to the University of Utah, all you have to do is apply, be from one of the 15 states, and have at least a 3.0 unweighted GPA. And if you have all of those characteristics, you are automatically going to be awarded a WUE should you be admitted to the U. So what that means is right now, in-state tuition is about $9,000. Out-of-state tuition is about $31,000. WUE brings you to about a $13,500 mark for tuition every year. So the cost of attendance is roughly about $22,000 or so. So that's a pretty affordable piece when you consider all the great options you have here in state in California, and kind of how we can match that price, but yet have more access and opportunities at our large flagship institutions. So anyways, with that being said, if you have any questions, I'll post my information in the chat. I think I'm going to hand it to Betsy next. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Gary.
Actually, we're going to go from Utah over to Reno and hear from Shaler.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. I am the regional representative for the University of Nevada, Reno in the Sacramento area, and my name is Shaler. So I'm really excited to talk to you about the university. On the next slide, we'll see a little bit of the key points of what the university is all about. We are a tier 1 research institution. So that means you can get engaged in research as early as your freshman year. You could be a research assistant or pursue your own research with our undergrad grants as well. We're a good medium-sized institution with about 18,000 undergrads and about 3,000 grads, just pushing us about over 20,000. We have a lot of different opportunities to get engaged and involved on campus. We have over 250 clubs. We do have Division I sports on campus. We are in the Mountain West Conference. And if you're already kind of part of the Wolfpack already, our football team has been having an amazing season. We are 5-1, which has been really, really awesome for us. So that's always exciting to be a part of. And we also don't have any impacted programs, meaning you just have to apply to the university and get accepted. And then you do not have to apply to your major of choice. So you can actually start your major that first semester and you can graduate on time in 4 years. And we are test optional for fall 2021. If any of you are juniors or below, we just have to wait on confirmation for if we'll have that. Some of our more popular programs are going to be listed here. By no means is this an exhaustive list. We have 145 plus different programs. But again, with no impacted programs, that means you can study any of our engineering degrees right away. We have business degrees, we have journalism, we have 4-year education degrees where you can become a licensed teacher and get your degree at the same time. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the WUE requirements. So if you do want to be a WUE student with us, on the next slide, you'll be able to see exactly what those requirements are. So these are going to be or statements in the sense that if you have the GPA or the test score, then you are going to be able to qualify for WUE. These are going to be those first-time freshman qualifications. It is open to all of our majors, though. The one big thing, though, is you do have to live on campus. So it's a quick snapshot there. And we're also going to talk about what those transfer requirements are in the next slide as well. So if we do have any transfer students here, we are just going to be looking at your GPA. You would have to have at least 24 transferable credits, a 3.0 GPA. Again, it is open to all of our majors. And if you are transferring, you already have a bachelor's degree, unfortunately, WUE is not going to be for you. But let's look at the breakdown of this cost. So in this next slide, it really kind of shows you exactly how much money you would be saving. So the first one, of course, is the first column talking about resident tuition, non-resident tuition, WUE tuition. So of course, that bottom one is what we're looking at, but we're breaking it down by semester and by year. So you can exactly see that, of course, the cheapest is being a resident of Nevada, but if you're paying out-of-state tuition, that's not going to be as awesome. So if you're getting that WUE price, that's about $10,000 per year for that tuition, of course, including other things as well. And really quickly, we'll kind of have my contact information on that slide. Thanks for kind of hanging out with us tonight, and I'll put my information in the chat as well. Thanks for listening.
Perfect. Well, we're going to leave the mainland and do a short drive over to Hawaii. Hello.
Aloha. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. So aloha, everyone. My name is Amber. I'm your official admissions counselor for the University of Hawaii at Manoa. So you might be asking, where exactly is Manoa? We are located on the island of Oahu, and we are just out of the city of downtown Honolulu. So if you've heard of the capital or the island that has some traffic, that would definitely be us. So for our student population, we have around 18,000 students. We are considered to be the 6th most diverse school in the entire US. So we're very proud of that, of course. And we do have a small 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have over 100 different majors and none of our majors are impacted, so you don't have to worry too much about that. The only version of impacted that we have is going to be our nursing degree and dental hygiene degree. And you can of course change your major at any time. You're never locked into stone. What we are definitely known for is we are known for our marine biology program, business program, physics and astronomy, and of course our Research One different opportunities. So you can get research opportunities, internship opportunities, on-campus jobs, whatever you're looking for, we do offer here at Manoa. So you may be wondering, okay, small island, is there a lot to do both on campus and off campus? So absolutely. Of course, you can go and enjoy any of our 300 different student clubs. It's a great way to meet people from all across the world. You can avoid the freshman 15 by working out at our Warrior Recreation Center, or of course, playing any sports during our intramural sports teams. You can get involved with theater, you can write for the newspaper, you can have your own radio station. There's just so many endless opportunities at Manoa. So we are a Division I athletics team. We're extremely proud of that. We are definitely most known for our men's volleyball as well as our men's football team. But of course, athletics isn't just the only thing that you'll want to think about. You also will want to think about housing and where you'll be living over the next few years. And of course, maybe you guys want to study abroad as well. We definitely have those opportunities available for you. So you guys can choose to live on campus for 1 year, all years, or no years. It's completely up to you. For our freshman admissions, we are completely test optional for this upcoming school year. And definitely just check out our website for both our freshman admissions requirements and our transfer admissions requirements. And for our WUE, there is going to be no separate application. All you have to do is indicate that you're from one of the participating states and you'll automatically get it applied. It's basically like a checkout coupon is what I call it. And of course, if you guys have any questions, I'll go ahead and put my contact information in the chat, as well as our other counselors as well. And just want to say mahalo, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Arizona. Aloha.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Amber. And we're going from the great state of Hawaii over to my birthplace home, Arizona. Sung, are you ready?
I'm on. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sung, and it's on for Arizona State University. If we can skip towards the next a couple of slides here, I'll fast forward into a quick overview of their university. A couple more slides there, please. One more. And here we are. ASU, we are a comprehensive public university measured not by whom we exclude, but by whom we include and how they succeed. We're a member of the Pac-12, where we do over $600 million of research. We have over 400 different majors on 4 different campuses. At ASU, when we talk about impact, we talk about the impact you get to make after you graduate in 4 years. 89% of our students have a job offer or will get a job offer within 6 months after they graduate. I'm going to talk about our 4 campuses. If we go into the next slide here, some highlights that you may want to know about ASU. We're very well known for the W.P. Carey School of Business, of which I've got my MBA from recently. We also have the nation's largest engineering program in the country. Pretty much every type of engineering you can think of, we have at ASU. The College of Liberal Arts and Sciences is our largest college. So students who are looking into the pre-health tracks, humanities, you'll be able to find something of interest there. We also have an outstanding journalism program on our downtown Phoenix campus, several STEM programs on the Polytechnic campus, and we also have a forensic science program on the West Campus, as well as a top 10 public law school, the Sandra Day O'Connor School of Law, named for our nation's first female Supreme Court Justice. When it comes to WUE at ASU, we have over 100 different majors that are eligible for WUE. So on this slide, so if you go to our degree search page here, which I'll share the link in a little bit, you'll be able to find out which majors are WUE eligible. Some general highlights would include a lot of our humanities programs on the West Campus, some excellent STEM programs on the Polytechnic campus, and a lot of our public service programs on the downtown Phoenix campus. The way WUE is administered at ASU is that if you meet the admissions requirements for ASU, a 3.0 GPA is all you would need, or a qualifying test score if you happen to take the SAT or ACT. If you have that, you will automatically get WUE. If you switch into a WUE major, once you get to ASU, you only need a 2.5 GPA to maintain that. So with these programs, you'll see the WUE rates. You're looking at about $16,000 for the out-of-state tuition, for the WUE tuition versus our out-of-state tuition. On the next slide, you'll see that our out-of-state tuition is a little bit under 30,000. We do have merit scholarships for our non-WUE majors. So for instance, computer science on the Tempe campus, as well as any of our programs on the Tempe campus, you will be eligible for New American University scholarships. We also offer smaller New American University scholarships on top of our on some of our WUE programs. So again, if you apply to ASU, there's no separate application for WUE. If you choose a WUE program, you will automatically receive the WUE tuition. Other highlights: over 1,000 different clubs. We're in the Pac-12. A lot of school spirit. Herm Edwards is our football coach. You may have heard that name because he's the one who said, "You play to win the game." At ASU, our students plan to win the game of life. So we're really excited to be able to share more about ASU. I'm done now. I will share some links for you to follow about ASU, but next up, we'll go to my friends up in Flagstaff, Betsy at Northern Arizona University. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sung. Betsy, let's hear about Northern Arizona University.
Oh, thank you, Sung, and thank you, Gary V. If you do find yourself visiting Arizona, if you just go north from the Phoenix Tempe area, actually just about 2 hours north and directly uphill, you'll be hitting Flagstaff, Arizona. Flagstaff has a population year-round of about 71,000 folks, so it's not a huge town by some other standards, but it is a nice little college town. Actually, NAU is only about 10-20 minutes, depending on where you are from campus, to the downtown beautiful historic district. NAU also gets 4 distinct seasons. It's more like Colorado weather, and we'll be heading to Colorado North after I'm done. So it's very different from the rest of most of some of the other WUE states, and also the rest of Arizona as well too. The reason NAU gets the kind of weather that it does is because of its elevation. It's about 7,000 feet above sea level, but still super sunny where it is, at like the rest of Arizona, about 266 days of sunshine as well, but it can get 100 inches of snow a year. It's actually also the only major city in Arizona that has never reached 100 degrees. Part of that, again, is because of the elevation that we're at. A lot of outdoor adventures for students, whether they're on and off campus as well too. NAU is only about an hour and a half south of the Grand Canyon. I think we're the closest, or if not one of the closest universities to the Grand Canyon. Like I said, it's only about 2.5 hours north and uphill from the Phoenix area, about 45 minutes northeast of Sedona as well, and lots of things to do in the area as well too. We have one of the best urban trail systems in the whole country, so that goes right through campus as well. So if you like being outside, hiking, biking, mountain biking, skiing, some of the best skiing in Arizona is only about 15 miles from campus. Usually you don't say skiing in Arizona in the same sentence, but yes, a nice little college town that it is. About 400 or more clubs and organizations as well too. We are Division I. Louie the Lumberjack is our mascot. It harkens back to NAU's Flagstaff's origins as a logging community. We actually have a logging team at NAU as well, but about 97 different majors at NAU, about 20,000 students. Average class size is about 35 to start. We do have 9 academic colleges, including an honors college as well. We're kind of known for our hotel and restaurant management majors, maybe because of where we're located as well too. Engineering, education, we started as a teacher's college. Here's our first year admission requirements. We really are just looking at these 16 core courses for admission, and for admission to NAU. If you have a 3.0 unweighted core GPA, you'll pretty much be guaranteed admission to NAU. You can even be lower than that as well. We are test score optional for admission as well too. We have been, and we will continue to be so as well. Next slide, Gary. Thank you so much. As far as the WUE goes, all of our majors are included. If you apply to NAU and if you're accepted to NAU, you're automatically going to get our reduced WUE tuition. Everything together, housing, food, all of that is about $34,000 this year. So we're pretty comparable to all the UCs and some of the Cal states as well too, if you're comparing it to other WUE states as well. As far as with the WUE as well too, if you're admitted, you're going to get that WUE rate. There's no additional application for the WUE as well too. No deadline either. We're on rolling admission, so we're still accepting students. So thank you very much for having us tonight. And we're going to be heading north, I think, to Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
We're going to stay in the mountains and go to Colorado Mesa.
All right, thank you guys so much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mia, and I'm the admissions counselor for Colorado Mesa University, and I work with students from California and Nevada. For those of you who might never have been to Colorado, heard of Grand Junction, we are actually the westernmost city in Colorado. So about 30 minutes past the Utah border, and you'll be in Grand Junction, where you find Colorado Mesa. We are a medium-sized university of about 11,000 students, and we are public. And we can go ahead to the next slide, Gary. So across the board, what we're known for at Colorado Mesa is our applied learning, really hands-on programs. So you're not going to be bored, and you're going to be able to build your portfolio and resume as a student. Right now, we have 114 majors on campus. We also have a technical campus with 2-year programs if you want to maybe get a welding degree, culinary, electrical technician. So many different opportunities. You can go back, Gary. And on campus, we definitely have Some of our most popular programs that you see here on this slide: criminal justice. We have a really unique forensics edge. We're one of 5 universities that actually has a forensic investigation research station, what we call our body farm, because you get to work with real human bodies. We also have a crime scene investigation house. That picture that you see that looks like a dining room, that is actually our teaching hotel that opened up this semester on campus. 60 rooms ran by our culinary students and our hospitality management students, that was actually built by our construction management students. We do have a fabulous nursing program where the health sciences department is a hospital the university purchased, and we have fantastic kinesiology programs too. We're actually getting to work with our athletes on campus, do research with them, and work in our beautiful state-of-the-art human performance lab. Most programs on our campus are direct entry. Nursing and teaching education, radiology tech are the only 3 that are not. You can go to the next slide. So if you are familiar with Colorado at all, you know that we are really big on being outdoors, staying active, and that's definitely true at Colorado Mesa. 300 days of sunshine, so tons of time to take advantage of it all. We are 15 minutes away from the Colorado River, 40 minutes away from our nearest ski resort, and we have about 1,200 miles of hiking within an hour of campus. So again, you're never going to be bored. And on campus, we have 190 clubs and organizations, Division II athletics, so definitely a community for everybody. And then slide to touch on WUE at our school. All you need is a 2.5 GPA and to be living in one of those red states. We have our own on-campus version of WUE called Mountains and Plains, and that is for students living in the blue states that you see on that map, and it's the exact same tuition. So that's in-state plus 50%, so it brings tuition down to $12,900 a year. Total cost of attendance to about $25,000. And with that, we do have merit scholarships that are stackable up to $6,000 a year. And we're on a rolling admission deadline, so accepting applications right now. And I'll go ahead and leave you guys with a application fee waiver code in the chat. Thank you.
Perfect. Let's go over to Colorado State University in Pueblo.
Thanks so much, Gary. Hi, everyone. My name is Noelle Clark, and I'm the admissions counselor for Colorado State University, Pueblo. I'm regionally based in Southern California and work with students all along the West Coast in Alaska and Hawaii. And I am a proud CSU Pueblo alum as well. So I love talking about my alma mater and my experience at CSU Pueblo. We're a small public university. We're about an hour and 45 minutes south of Denver, 45 minutes from Colorado Springs, and about 45 minutes from the mountains in 3 different directions. So as Mia mentioned, Colorado, outdoor activities, we have all of them right in our own backyard. We have just about 4,000 students total. So that means your average class size is only about 21. So you're really in those nice small settings your entire way through. So you really get to know your professors and classmates and build that relationship with them. I can tell you from my experience, I only had 1 class my entire 4 years that had more than 30 students in it. So your professors will definitely know who you are in your classes and you'll build that relationship. Very diverse student body with students coming from the 40 different states and 40 different countries currently on our campus. Next slide, Gary. We have about 80 different areas of study total with all of our majors and minors. None of them are impacted, and nursing is the only program that has a separate application process. The rest of them are all direct entry, although we do offer a handful of direct entry spots each year into our nursing program, which was ranked the top 4-year program in the state of Colorado. We have a couple unique programs listed right there on that slide, as well as some of our popular include nursing, business, health sciences, biology, psychology, whatever program you choose, you're going to get hands-on experience tied in with it. So you're not just sitting in the classroom, you're getting that hands-on practical experience from research, which is across campus in different fields, internship opportunities, clinical experiences. You'll be having that real world experience. We're Division II athletics with 21 different teams, 75 plus different clubs and organizations. So you'll find the average Thunder Wolf is pretty involved on our campus. We are automatic for WUE. So if you are from any of the WUE states and you're accepted to CSU Pueblo, you're automatically coming in at that reduced tuition rate. No additional requirements at all. And then merit scholarships and additional scholarships can stack on top of that. Merit scholarships range from $500 to $8,000 a year. Out-of-state students get an automatic $2,000 a year housing scholarship every single year you live on campus. So there's a lot of scholarships to help reduce that cost down quite a bit, including a first-generation scholarship. If neither parent has a bachelor's degree, you can qualify for that. This year we are test optional. You can also qualify for our merit scholarships being test optional. If you apply this year test optional, we're looking for a 3.0 GPA. If you have less than that, you're able to still apply with some additional documentation. I'll leave all of my contact information in the chat, but I'll go ahead and pass it off to our sister school in Fort Collins.
Thanks, Noelle. Let's hear from Elise with Fort Collins, Colorado State University in Fort Collins.
So thank you, Noelle and Gary. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to share more about Colorado State University. So Colorado State University is a public Tier 1 research and land grant institution located in Fort Collins, Colorado. Fort Collins, aka Ram Country as we love to call it, is a beautiful small suburban college town located only about 1 hour north of Denver, Colorado, and about 45 minutes south of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Fort Collins is a young, vibrant, and very friendly college town, currently ranked the #1 city to live in according to livability.com, and we're consistently voted as one of the top places to live for health and for innovation as well. Our students definitely love to get outdoors, to bike, to hike, to ski, watch the sunrise or sunset from Horsetooth Reservoir, and that's about 7 minutes away from campus. Old Town Fort Collins is also a very popular place for our students to hang out and grab a bite to eat, as there's over 600 restaurants in Fort Collins. So I tell students all the time that Fort Collins has everything that you need and you're used to, including a Trader Joe's, Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Chipotle, Five Guys, Starbucks, and Panera Everett. We have it all. Next slide, please, Gary. So CSU is the greenest university in the US and is the first school in the world to earn platinum in the STARS rating system for multiple consecutive years. So we're not just green with our school colors, but also in our sustainability, both in and outside of the classroom. Our students can select from over 200 non-impacted academic programs, and some of the top makers that I see students selecting include business, engineering, hospitality management, construction management, environmental sciences, psychology, zoology, animal science, and biomedical sciences, just to name a few. CSU does have the #3 veterinary school in the country, and we actually have a live animal mascot, Mr. Cam the Ram. So while we have a little over 28,000 students on campus, we do have a 19-to-1 student-faculty ratio that our students find their smaller community to immediately connect with when they start at CSU. We definitely believe in giving our students a very hands-on classroom experience. So that's inside and outside of the classroom, they are doing. Our students are involved in over 500 clubs and student organizations, Greek Life, Club, NCAA D1 sports, and we do play in the Mountain West Conference. We also have an honors program, and we encourage our students to study abroad and start participating in research and internships as early as their freshman year. So what does it take to become a RAM? Well, I'm glad you asked. CSU does evaluate prospective students based on their entire academic career. We are Common App exclusive for this year, and we are a part of the WUE program, as you know. WUE this year, because we're test optional, is for any student that has a 3.8 GPA or higher. I definitely will leave my contact information in the chat for you. I would love to talk further about joining our Ramley. I am now going to pass it on to Miss Vanessa from Colorado Springs. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Elise. Vanessa?
All right, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Vanessa Aya with the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, or UCCS, whereas you just spent about an hour north of Denver with Fort Collins. The city of Colorado Springs is 1 hour south of the capital city of Denver. We are a part of the all public research University of Colorado system, and we are the youngest and the smallest. We currently have about 12,000 students who are getting ready to do finals in a couple of weeks. On the screen here, you'll see some of the new programs for this year, but we actually divide our majors into 6 different colleges. I get asked a lot about our Helen and Arthur E. Johnson Bethel College of Nursing and Health Sciences. I get asked a lot about our 2 original programs that we've had since we were started over 50 years ago, and that's our College of Business and our College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. But we also have majors in our College of Education, our School of Public Affairs, and our largest college on campus is our College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences. Next slide, please. And so all Colorado public universities this year is test option, or will be test optional, or are test optional. And so this grid here just depicts for you what GPA we will be looking for, and also what courses we might be looking at depending on what major or college you are looking to pursue. This is also on our website. If we go to the next slide, you will see that our University of Colorado campus does participate in the Western Undergraduate Exchange program. Not all of them do. And we do it automatically, which means that when a student applies from a WUE state, you're accepted to any major except for nursing, then we automatically grant you the WUE reduced tuition rate. For our students who are pursuing nursing and are accepted, they can apply for the PEAK scholarship, which brings your total down almost to the same amount as WUE. The 2 scholarships that you see on the bottom are examples of other scholarships that you can apply for, with the Chancellor's Leadership class being an example of a scholarship that is stackable on either the WUE tuition rate or the PEAK scholarship. The Presidential Scholarship is an example of a non-stackable award because it does better than the WUE tuition, where WUE is resident tuition times 1.5. If you compete and earn the Presidential Scholarship, you actually pay resident tuition times 1.1. Finally, the last slide just shows you the wonderful view that we have from one of the mild hiking mountain biking trails that is right on our campus. That is beautiful Pikes Peak Mountain, which is 14,100 and some change feet above sea level. And we truly can see that from anywhere on campus. What you cannot see on campus from campus, which is 8 miles north of us, is the brand new In-N-Out that people are still going nuts for right now. They're literally standing in line for 5 hours to get In-N-Out. But we are going to head down the one and only freeway that runs north-south in the state of Colorado, I-25, down to Gary B over in University of New Mexico. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Vanessa, and thanks, folks, for being here this evening. I'm the last one to present, then we'll take the Q&A. What do you say? So I'm going to talk about where I went to college, the University of New Mexico. And I always say, what do you know about the University of New Mexico? And I always hear UNM. Unfortunately, not much. So let's start with location. UNM, University not close to mom. We're located in Albuquerque. And I know you hear Albuquerque and right away you're thinking flat and hot. We're not. We're actually in the mountains. UNM, University next to mountains. We're 20 minutes from a ski resort. It'll snow 2 or 3 times a year for 2 or 3 inches. Just perfect. Let's talk about UNM, University of Numerous Majors. The same time that you're applying to any program, you're applying for scholarship. And so you can apply UNM, University for Nursing and Medicine, UNM, University from Nuclear to Mechanical Engineering, UNM, University with a number of management programs. Want to do film? UNM, University for Netflix movies. Undecided? UNM. Undecided no more, come explore. Options galore, will open the door to something you're looking for. Housing? UNM, University nice as a Marriott. Dining 24/7, UNM, unlimited number of meals. So as I said before, when you apply for admission, you're applying for scholarship. And so let's talk about the programs and the scholarship that's available from the University of New Mexico. And so here you go. The total COA is $35K, but that's not what you'll pay, no way. Just think, UNM, you need money, we've got scholarship. 2.8 is great. With a 2.8, you'll get a $50,000 WUE discount over the 4 years. So with a 3.0, you'll get even more dough. You'll pay the same as a resident of New Mexico. And so you can apply anytime. Seniors, we do rolling admission. I'll pay the application fee. No essay, no personal statement, no letters of recommendation. We're going to let's just cut to the chase. Class of 2021, time to get it done. You can apply now. Let me tell you how. Do it online. It'll save you time. Use your phone. Do it at home. Either way, do it today. Then email me, Gary B, and I'll waive the fee. I'll make it free. Send your transcript. Don't worry about that test, and I'll do the rest. 3.0, a whole lot of dough. 2.8, still great. Don't be a fool. Stay in school. It's cool. Go to college. Get to knowledge. Gary B, remember me when you're making that list. UNM, University, not to be missed. You guys deserve that. Thanks for being here. UNM, unlimited number of meanings. WUE, we underwrite education. Higher ed, lower cost. Thanks again. We're going to take the Q&A. We'll be here till 7 o'clock. You guys have been wonderful. I'm going to stop the share. And as I always say, ask questions, follow directions. Vanessa, Eva, were there any questions that happened to come in while we
Were there any questions that came in, Gary B? What a question.
I thought I'd start with a question.
Okay, let's take the first one. And then maybe we'll do round robin and we can all read a question. So the first one I see is, do we need to fill out FAFSA to qualify for WUE? I don't need it. Is there anyone who needs the FAFSA for WUE? All right, check. Okay, that one's done.
But do the FAFSA because you can get FAFSA and WUE. So definitely do the FAFSA, do the FAFSA. You may get more money than you realize. So that's the caveat there.
I'll throw out the next one for everyone. So this one is going to be specific to each institution, but this person is wondering if any institutions have made a decision on the SAT or ACT requirement for class of 2022 or for fall of 2022 applicants. So U of I hasn't. Has anyone's school made that decision that you are test optional for fall 2022 applicants? Raise your hand. So a couple of them, or you can put your names in the chat.
So I saw UNM, NAU, Utah, Arizona State, and did I see Anchorage as well for class of 2022? Awesome.
Utah, Portland State, I think. Dave raised his hand. Yep, perfect. And again, that just because we haven't decided yet, the schools that haven't decided doesn't mean it's a no. We're going to see how this plays out. There's a vaccine coming, I've heard. It's in the news. More questions?
I'll take one. So that next one, do WUE schools combine FAFSA and WUE tuition? And yes, so you'll receive WUE, and that does not include any loans, grants, or external scholarships you have. So if you're receiving any of those, your total cost of attendance is going to be amazing. So definitely apply for more scholarships, absolutely.
More questions?
There's one asking about if WUE applies to grad school. It does not, but there is within WICHE, which is the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Ed. They do have the WRGP. So I'm going to put that as the answer. I don't know anything about it. I'm not sure if anyone else here does, but I'll put that and you can do some research about that.
And then I'll take the next question here. Is there a any WUE schools that offer a BSN program? So for ASU, we do not offer WUE tuition. However, our New American University scholarships are available for that. Our nursing program at ASU is direct entry. We also have a non-direct entry pathway.
Somebody's asking about if a school does take the ACT, SAT, do they super score? And again, you're going to have to check with each school. And one thing that I will say is that if they do super score, it's a benefit, but I don't encourage students to rush out and try and take the ACT and SAT. Your health is much more important than a test score. None of the schools here today require the test. If you have taken the test, it could benefit you. And a super score simply means if you've taken the test twice, if you were that lucky, we would combine those scores potentially. So we have a question about WUE tuition for a specific school. Again, reach out to those admission counselors. How accurate is a net price calculator? Net price calculator, who would like to talk about the net price calculator? I've done a lot of talking tonight. Who else? Oh,
I can.
Perfect, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. That's a really great question. And the net price calculator is required by law to be on every school's financial aid website. Some are a little easier to find than others, but those are fairly accurate. They're going to give you a pretty good indication of what scholarships you're going to qualify for at that institution, whether that's WUE or something else. They'll also give you an estimate of what you're going to get off of your FAFSA. And that is going to take from the total cost of attendance and subtract all those things and give you a bottom line so that you understand what you're still going to have left to pay. The net price calculator is such a fantastic tool. I think all the schools here would be in agreement that you should definitely utilize that, because so often we hear students that say, oh my gosh, I got $35,000 in scholarship money, which is awesome. But if that school costs $70,000 to attend, you still have a big chunk of money you need to pay. So this will give you a very realistic expectation of what your bill is going to be, if there is one.
One of the next questions was, will there be new schools or schools dropping out of the WUE program? This is the first year Oregon State's been back into the program. And so you've got to keep checking from year to year. We use the WUE program to increase enrollment and impact enrollment. So it's a plus. Typically schools will not drop out of WUE. They may adjust their parameters to get the WUE tuition. Okay, so again, check from year to year. There could be some changes. One of the questions talk about what's impacted. Who would like to talk about what impaction means?
I'm happy to talk about impaction. So impaction, really common in California. You not only have to apply to the university you want to attend, but then you might have to meet certain GPA requirements or test score requirements in order to be in your major of choice. So that's super common for really popular majors like engineering or biology, for example. And so that can mean that maybe you have to wait a year before you begin that program. So you're taking 5 years to graduate instead of 4. So when we're saying our programs are impacted, that means you can begin taking those classes immediately and you can graduate in 4 years. So it is designed to be a 4-year program.
Perfect. One of the questions was about, can athletes get the WUE tuition? It depends on the athlete. Full ride athletes are getting everything covered, but there are walk-on students and students that may be playing a sport without scholarship, without athletic scholarship. So yes, athletic scholarship students, even on athletic scholarship, can get the WUE tuition. Coaches are the ones who dictate the athletic scholarship, and we work with the coaching staff. So definitely, if you're an athlete, reach out. One of the questions asking about FBI, I don't know if any other schools have FBI programs. I know New Mexico works with the CIA and the FBI. I once misspoken and said the CIA and the FBI are looking for our students. It's not exactly what I meant, but who else has those programs? Criminology, sociology, psychology.
Yeah.
Those are all great programs. So I think any of these schools can help you build a foundation. And so reach out to the admission counselors and see if we've got a partnership with the FBI, and many schools do because we're located in major metro areas. Somebody's asking about Washington State. Definitely Washington State, you can reach out to them. They do have the WUE program.
One question is the WUE program degree specific? And now that we touched on that briefly, it's going to be dependent on your institution. So that's another reason to reach out to your admissions counselors directly. So at some institutions like UIA, it's not program specific, but if we talk about impaction, sometimes when we have impacted programs, then that WUE won't apply for those programs.
Perfect.
I saw a question in here about how does WUE work for non-citizens but residents of California. And so at UCCS, this is a recent change for us. Students who are undocumented dreamers in Colorado, they are called Ascent, or yes, Ascent. They are eligible for WUE. And so not sure if anybody else also has that.
Same in New Mexico completely. Any student is eligible for WUE if you're a resident of another state. Somebody's asking about a fee waiver. Email the reps and we'll take care of you if there's fee waivers available. New Mexico has fee waiver. Simply just pay later and email me. Who else has fee waivers here? People are wanting to apply. We like it. I know everybody's still taking applications, right? We're not like the UCs, Cal States, it's going to close off in another week, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. So, perfect. More questions. Keep them coming, folks. This is great. I love doing this.
Gary, there was one question I saw. Are any of the schools offering on-campus tours right now?
I heard
we closed ours before Thanksgiving. We're hoping in the new year when things get better.
Yeah, so definitely reach out to the school, stay in touch. Everybody's got great virtual tours right now. We've done drones and even students that are on campus. How many of us had on-campus classes this fall and planning it for the spring? See, so students, you're definitely going to be able to go to, I know many of you are concerned, hey, am I going to be online next fall? I want to go to college. There's a vaccine coming. And we know when that vaccine is out and people are able to get it, we'll be back to some sense of normalcy. There'll be some great lessons that we learned from the pandemic that will continue and colleges will continue. There will be an online, I mean, we had over 1,000 people attend tonight. We couldn't have had 1,000 people at any high school. We covered 10 states tonight. So there's pluses to this. I know many of you think, what's the plus? Well, that we're able to do that reach. And reach out to us and stay in touch. Let's get some more questions from the audience here. People are asking about nursing. I think many of the schools that have nursing, reach out to the admission counselors. How many of us have a nursing program? And so look at just about everybody's got nursing. And you can get the WUE tuition. So that's great. Just reach out. You've got 17 great admission counselors. What we will do, participants, is make sure we get you the contact information for everyone. And I'll make sure I get you the PowerPoint as well. I'll get you a PDF of the PowerPoint. So again, thanks for attending tonight. We're not quite done, but I just want you to know you're going to get some takeaways. It's like a bonus gift for showing up.
Gary, I'll jump in. There was kind of a common thread in a couple of questions about WUE being something that is guaranteed for the first year. Do you have to kind of keep reapplying for it? I think in most of our situations, so long as you come in with WUE and accept WUE, there is typically a GPA requirement that you have to maintain to keep your WUE for all 8 semesters or the 4-year time span, whatever the WUE contract is. So I know at the University of Utah, very straightforward. I think it's a 2.0 GPA at the U to keep your WUE tuition discount. And again, there's no extra application or process you have to go through once you become a matriculated student.
Hi guys, so I know I was having some audio issues and it might have went in and out a little bit during my presentation, but I wanted to just clarify that for Colorado State, for WUE, it is a 3.3 GPA that you're needed. I will drop contact information again in the chat so that you can get in contact with myself and or your counselor. But for Colorado State University, it is a 3.3 GPA.
Well, perfect. More questions. Anybody see a thread that they want to address? A question that's come up?
Yeah, Gary B, there was a question. Are students currently living in the residence halls? Who had on-campus students living? Yeah, we did too. And interestingly, we, again, as public health changed, students after Thanksgiving at UCCS could have chosen to go home because most of our classes went remote after Thanksgiving. But they could choose to live on campus. If they chose to move out, we actually prorated and said that you can apply that credit over to your spring semester. As a parent of a high school senior, I'm paying attention to those kinds of things, the care that schools are providing in this kind of ever-changing environment.
Perfect.
I see there's been a number of questions about the vaccine. When a vaccine is out, you're going to need to reach out to each school you've been admitted to and ask them if it's going to be required. No schools that I'm aware of have come out with any decision. So once you're admitted to universities, then start asking those questions once a vaccine is out.
Thanks for addressing that. One question that hasn't been asked, but's been on my mind. Andrew, is there any relationship to the temperatures and the number of Thai food restaurants? I mean, I like spicy Thai, so I just figured that's why there were so many Thai food restaurants, was the temps there in Fair.
There's been quite a bit of research done on this, and there is indeed causation. The colder the temperature, the more and the better the Thai food.
And I mean, New Mexico, we've got spicy food, but my, oh my, there you are. Thought we'd have some fun, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. We've got about time for 2 or 3 more questions. If anybody does have a burning question to keep the theme going with the hot food.
There is one of someone said, if I'm a sophomore, when's the earliest I can apply or talk to my admissions counselor? So each school's application will open at various times. So typically it'll be in the summer going into your senior year for a lot of institutions, but the earliest you can talk to them, talk to us now. There's no right time to start talking to us or wrong time. So if you want to start as a sophomore to start talking to us, totally do that. Reach out to us. We would love to start chatting with you now and starting to get to know you over these next couple of years.
I'm going to put one small caveat. Give it about 4 more minutes, and once we're done, then start talking to us. So not quite now, but at 7:01, we're good to go. All right. And I know I've already gotten emails from some of the folks here tonight. Thanks again. We love to hear from you. Email's great. If you want to give us a call, remember Jeopardy comes on in 4 minutes, so give it till 7:30 and we'll right after Jeopardy. No, we're good. Let's keep the conversation going, folks. We'd love to hear from you. Time for 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody? What do we got here? Scholarships. Absolutely.
We've got a question about, do the majority of the schools accept the AP classes that our students are taking in high school? We look at them for admission, but we will also look at your AP tests for college credit.
And IB.
And IB, yes. And dual enrollment. And concurrent enrollment.
Yeah, oftentimes we talk about the savings that you get with WUE. If you've done enough AP credits, you could shave off a semester. I had a student shave off an entire year. Well, there you save 25% of the entire cost of going to college. That's substantial. Not only did they save that money, guess what? They're employed. Great.
Another question, you can apply undeclared. So raise your hand. I know that's a broad one and there can be caveats with it, but raise your hand if you can apply undecided to your university.
Perfect. It looks like everybody can go up, just about everybody could be undecided. It's one I read, 80% of students change their major at least once. I know I went to college to be a civil engineer, and what I do is neither civil nor engineering. All right. 4-year graduation. It's a great question because the WUE typically is a 4-year program. And so students, we're going to make sure you have the classes available. How many can get students through in 4 years? Well, there's 17 of us, all 17 of us can do it. So don't change your major 4 times each year, but do find that focus. You may end up with a major you never heard of or thought about. I got a degree in economics. You want to know how many econ classes I had in high school? -2, none ever. But I love my econ classes and I put it to work, giving away the university's money and helping my friends do the same. So folks, it's been wonderful being here with you this evening. Don't hesitate to reach out to the admission counselors. We want to keep working with you. And as Eva said, that at 7 o'clock, fire that email off and say, hey, I'm a sophomore, but I want to know more about you. All right. Thanks, guys. Anybody, anything, last parting words, ask questions, follow directions. How about that?
So just to wrap up, we had a lot of questions about whether the recording will be made available. You will get an automated Zoom email tomorrow with the link to this recording. Gary B will send me over his PDF of the PowerPoint presentation so you can get everyone's contact information. Our panelists will also get a list of all the questions that we were not able to get to, and I know that there's some specific ones to college reps, and so we'll make sure that you get those answered. And I forget anything else? I think that's it. Off to Jeopardy, Gary B. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Gracias, amigos. Adios.